Quit telling me what to do.
We'll break down the opening night of the RNC. We'll talk Astros, NHL. Marco fizzles while Laura lingers.
Nice.
Kim Jong-un may be in a coma. That and a whole lot more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show.
It's only Tuesday, and you nailed it.
It's all downhill from here.
Let's take Friday off.
Take tomorrow off.
Okay.
But we can't. Matt Boucher's coming in.
Isn't that what doctors do? Doctors take Wednesdays off. Play golf.
Never understood that.
I didn't either.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just in awe, thrilled, and invigorated by you just nailing that intro and all the music played at the right time and everything. It's over. Thanks, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
See you tomorrow.
Have a great day. Doesn't get any better than that. For all you need, there's Deerland Feed. Wade and Carter Weather brought to you by the great folks at Deerland Feed. Good morning, Lacey Deerland Rosenquist.
For all your seed, it's Deerland Feed.
Right?
We can just keep going. For all your feed, it's Deerland Feed.
Be in the lead. Go to Deerland Feed. Anyway, 75 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today of 98 under sunny skies. Going to get a little spotty clouds later. That's just some bonus info. The reality is it'll be sunny all day.
Yeah, do we want to should we start there then? Marco?
Yeah, what a disappointment. In a good way. We're glad.
Could have used the rain.
Yeah, love it when a storm fizzles out. Maybe we'll get some Marco rain. Maybe that low will come on around this way.
No.
Probably not going to happen.
It looks like it's going to run parallel to the coast, and high wind shear up in the atmosphere is going to just keep it. Strengthening wind shear is going to keep it from doing anything, and it'll fizzle out by later today, if not tomorrow.
So Marco does nothing. I mean, nothing. It's almost like people are disappointed.
Aside from limit everybody to 2 briskets at HEB.
But I mean, we're happy that it did nothing. But it's almost like people are like, "Oh man, what a bummer."
I think because they're so dry. And we'll have Matt Boucher. He's gonna come by tomorrow's show, and we'll talk a little bit about just how dry it is because he's up on that. But I know we're significantly down in the rainfall totals.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I'm not wishing for it. I'm a little bit.
They all come back at once. That's never a good thing.
But Laura is still meandering in the, I guess, southern Gulf and probably could reach major hurricane status before it makes landfall. What's the look or what's the call on that one? It's probably going to make landfall.
New Orleans-ish.
Yeah, west of that border, Lake Charles-ish,
Beaumont,
somewhere in there.
Like, dear Lord, please don't let it rain all at once.
All right, Facebook decided to come with a new look this morning.
Thrilled yesterday to have a call from someone who just doesn't agree with us on everything. I think that's awesome. You see my shirt there? Got that from my buddy Dana Wagner. That's awesome.
You know Dana Wagner's good looking. I know him on Facebook.
Super good guy. Lifelong friend. Like back when I used to think Dana was wild, and now Dana's like he's like a grandpa. I mean, he retired from the sheriff's office and he duck hunts 4 days a week during the season and only 2 days a week when it's not in the season. And then he fishes all the time.
Awesome. Nice gig.
Awesome guy. Yeah, super guy.
All right. I don't know if I just
came by and brought me. T-Lat just sent me a text and says, "Where has H.R. Mallory been?" I think he's been in Austin, hasn't he?
Maybe so.
He's here. There's Uncle Norm. I was about to have to reach out to Uncle Norm and say, "Where you been, Norm?" Norm, it is one of your duties to check in with us. It's how we know you're okay.
Marvin Mickish, first one in this morning. Karen Webb, good morning. C.W. Bean, Bobby Leister, Chris Conrad, good morning. The Iceman is in. 92
Salt and
YouTubers.
Pepper said, "Push it real good." Great song. Is that 80s or 90s? That's 90s.
It's got to be 90s, yeah. Greg Garcia, good morning. Judge Posey, Christina Wise, Chris Jansen, Patrick Strauss, Matt Boucher, who's going to join us tomorrow.
Good morning, Judge.
Scott Tomko, Trey
Number
Molina,
six.
there's the funky Trey Molina,
Funky.
since we're keeping it in the 90s.
What
Lisa
you been,
Poole,
funky?
Stephen Kidder. RNC, Stephen Kidder says, excellent segment with group of regular voters. CNN responds, they weren't socially distanced. They weren't wearing masks.
Yeah, CNN is just the weakest, you know.
You summed it up well. Hall monitors who missed the content, not surprising.
Yeah.
They also cut away from, and I'm pretty sure this was.
Are you going straight into your RNC?
No. I'm pretty sure this was.
Where I'm at on the agenda.
Me either, to be honest.
I have to know.
Well, we might as well. I'm pretty sure this was a calculated move by CNN.
No.
Yes. And I've got to try to find it. Because they cut away when somebody was and I don't know if I can find it. Darn it.
Hello, T-Lab. Again, folks, I have to tell you, this mask deal isn't going away, and I find myself just kind of giving in. I don't feel like it's any kind of invasion of my civil liberties or anything.
Some do.
It's just about halfway stupid. I look around. This is as close as I am to anybody except Dawn all day long.
Yeah.
If 6 feet is the magic number, I'm clean, man. I don't stand within 6 feet of anybody, and I certainly don't breathe on them. But I think you're 10 times more likely, while you've got your mask on, to walk into a room and touch the doorknob where somebody else touched it and then touch your face and end up with the virus than you do from breathing it.
But CNN last night in their coverage cut away when a black woman was speaking, and I'm sure it was to just continue to fuel the narrative that the Republican Party is a bunch of racists.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Why would you pick that moment to cut away? You could have picked any moment.
The idea of the networks becoming propaganda arms has become so prevalent and so accepted that they don't hide it anymore.
It's so obvious.
They're like, oh yeah, well we're an arm of the Democratic Party.
Terry Murray, good morning to you. Norm Burgess, Amanda Blosky, checking in. Jeff Fonseca says evacuations have been issued for Galveston.
Over what? Over Marco?
Laura.
Laura's not even in the Gulf yet, is she?
Yeah, she's down there.
Oh, come on, man. I tell you what.
Let me look at the lower graphics here.
Let's look at the graphics. We're going to the graphics.
Gotta wait for the ad to disappear.
Don't complain. It's HB.
I'm not. So there it is. It's 7 o'clock this morning.
Landfall.
Early Thursday morning. About 1 o'clock as a major hurricane, probably Category 3.
That tells you, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's big. Cat 3 is a big storm. That tells you what they're thinking about Highway 288 and Highway 45 trying to get through and out of Houston. If you're in the Galveston area, they wanted you to start getting out of there.
Well, and I know.
Good morning, Sheriff Louderback.
Listening to some discussions with the Weather Service yesterday, they are concerned about a westward shift. So if that happens.
Norm says he's been playing lots of golf. You got to play early, Norm.
He must have 7:30 tee times to be out there, to be up and at him already.
I got news for you. Norm doesn't need a tee time. He shows up and he's there. I was be bad. It can be bad. Yeah. It wouldn't have to veer its vector much, Victor, to be right over here. I mean, look where it's at. And they've got assumptions based on where it's going to go. But, I mean, if it just went a little bit straighter, it's right here. It ain't got to go a lot straighter.
No, it's got to right now it's like a little banana curve, right?
Yeah.
But if it doesn't make that curve, it's heading straight. I mean, as of 1 o'clock Wednesday, it's bearing down on us.
Right. And then they're saying it's going to continue on up. Folks, what's funny, and nobody wants to admit it, all of these models are based on history. They have no real idea where the storm is going to go. That's a true story. Literally, you can go, well, I don't know how it went into Panama City, Florida, but it did. They really have no idea where it's going to go.
Gayla Goff says Herschel scored a touchdown at the RNC last night. Yeah, I thought Herschel Walker was pretty good.
Well, Herschel Walker is just a man of intense integrity and unbelievable sincerity. Now, Dawn said, "Wow, did you listen to Herschel Walker?" And I've heard Herschel on Glenn Beck and other places. Strong Christian guy, very conservative guy.
I don't know that he said anything yet last night that surprised me.
No,
I've heard it before.
But don't forget that the first person to make Herschel Walker a multimillionaire was Donald Trump.
Yeah,
make no mistake,
New Jersey Generals.
He's like, I don't see Donald as a racist. He did give me $30 million over 5 seasons. So there's something to be said for that. But Herschel Walker has always been highly principled and I think a very, very fine man. Thank you, Adam Dodger, for getting that. What's your vector, Victor? Roger.
Lisa Poole asked if it was during Kim Klasik's speech. It was not. It was after that they cut away. That I know of. I'm not sure when. I didn't watch CNN's coverage. I kind of flipped around and watched her speech on actually C-SPAN. It was interesting. I know the president was saying, donate now and we'll run your name on the scroll.
Wow.
During the RNC.
Shame.
Those names were flying by faster than NASCAR cars on the straightaway at Daytona.
I didn't watch it.
You couldn't have seen your name.
Yeah. Well, that tells you something. I've got Apple TV, and I don't have the local channels unless I have to. I didn't want to battle it enough to switch over to the other input and all that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I didn't watch it, but I did hear Kellyanne Conway. Was very impressed with her and her story about being of Indian descent.
No, that's Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley, that's right. Nikki Haley. And Kellyanne Conway just came back to say, I don't hate the president. But Nikki Haley did a great job, right?
I thought Nikki Haley was – Tim Scott was solid and surprised a lot of people. I don't know that he really surprised me that much, but I think Nikki Haley surprised me, and here's why. Last week, the mainstream media was trying to paint Nikki Haley as one of the Colin Powells, Mitt Romneys, basically one of the Republicans who hates the president because, she was the UN ambassador. She left that ambassadorship, and they were trying to paint a picture that there was bad blood. And then over the weekend, lo and behold, she's going to be speaking at this thing. And then last night, absolutely, I thought knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Called out the cancel culture for what it is, a bad thing for America. Called out Joe Biden for being a friend to ISIS, which I thought was interesting because I don't know that I've ever seen Republicans take this aggressive a stance towards their political opponents ever. Not talking Donald Trump, I'm talking Republicans.
Right.
Donald Trump has done this. Republicans have always played nice. So that impressed me. She took a hardline stance. She understands foreign policy. And I thought, and Steve Scalise was solid as always, but I really thought first night Nikki Haley might have been the star of the show.
What I found interesting is there was one of the guys, there was a gentleman on there, and I didn't see who he was. He was from New Jersey, and his daughter had been involved in a shooting and had died. And he talked about Donald Trump and Trump's empathy and the way he just talked about his personal interaction with the president. And every comment, like you put your comments on our Facebook feed, it was just rolling. Like, when you see ABC is live,
yeah.
You were like, wow, look at that. It was Trump sucks. I hate Trump. Get Trump out of here. Trump's got to go. Trump's the devil. On and on and on. And I thought to myself, I wonder if Republicans wasted the time of posting all that hateful garbage on the Democrats' live feed. I'm sure there were some that did, but I just thought about how dumb is that?
I didn't watch a lot of the DNC. Like I said, I sort of reviewed it last night or over the weekend ahead of this week's, and I said I wasn't going to watch the RNC, but it kind of pulled me in when I saw Kim Klacik was actually going to speak because I saw her video, her campaign ad last week that has received like 11 million views about how badly run Baltimore is. and point blank at the end of it said blacks don't have to vote for Democrats,
Right.
which I thought was pretty bold.
And then they have Herschel Walker speak and people speak. So question for you. This just came to the top of my head. And I'm just dealing in
Glad it didn't come somewhere else.
I'm just dealing in stereotype. So who has, objectively speaking, not sexualizing women, or who has the best looking women in TV journalism?
I don't watch a lot of TV journalism.
Was it Fox? I mean, is Finn Fox known for having all these good looking blondes? I mean, isn't that what they're known for?
I don't know. I thought that was America First or one of those other.
Okay, so then maybe then there's no sense going any further with that line of questioning. Because I was just going to ask you, who has better looking women in the public, or better looking men, better looking people in the public, the Dems or the Republicans? I don't know. I mean, so AOC's a little bug-eyed. Nancy looks like a prune. Because sex sells. I mean, Herschel is a good-looking man. He's a professional athlete. Sex sells. Who has good-looking women and good-looking men? I don't know. Does either? I mean, you got Schiff, Schumer.
Well, I think
are ugly.
I think if you're going, who seems more in tune with America?
It's the Republicans. 100%. The Democrats seem in tune, not even anymore with an ideal. They just seem out of sorts with America. That's all the Democrats seem like to me. They're just out of sorts with America. We shouldn't have to pay back our student loans. Well, why can't we just take over this block and it's a peaceful protest?
Yeah.
Who cares if those people can't open their store?
Lisa Poole says that gentleman lost his daughter at the Parkland High School shooting in Florida.
Right. And I thought he was a very sincere speaker. He was very, the guy was thrust onto national television.
Scott Snow checking in, Jeff Fonseca.
The Weather Channel. Joe Gomez. Good call.
Larry Leahy, good morning. Steve Kidder says Republicans don't troll. We work and study and raise families.
It's a legitimate point.
Randy Kowalik checking in, says they're all old. James Kerr says Nikki Haley reminds me of Jackie Kennedy in terms of looks.
Eva Longoria is hot. What's that got to do with anything? Isn't she an actress?
Well, she's on the Democrat side.
Okay.
And he says so is Kimberly Guilfoyle, and so it's a draw.
So what you're saying is if they made a movie, Eva Longoria could play AOC, but then she'd have to have her eyes like Marty Feldman.
Well, they could do that with CGI, right?
They'd have to do something to make her eyes look all bugged
I tell you, and Steve Kidder brings up somebody who spoke last night that I thought absolutely that would get creepy fast. I thought Kimberly Guilfoyle was probably the worst of the speakers last night. And anybody else have any feedback? I thought she was over animated. It just seemed to be over the top and way too much.
What did she talk about?
I don't know. I couldn't get really past her message or into her message because it was all shouting and arm waving. America's not going to be great again. Stuff like, it was, I don't know. I did not.
She went all Pentecostal.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's a good way to put it.
She went all Pentecostal. Tune in tomorrow. It's snake night at the RNC. There'll be handling of chickens. They'll be drinking blood.
James Kurth asked if she was the one yelling, and yes, she was.
Probably, you see, Ash, I get to watch you again. See, I get to watch you here, then I get to watch you again. That makes me laugh. But Alan's Record Service, folks, 578-6300. I talked to Alan just yesterday. Alan gave me solid advice. He was telling me what to do on a situation, and then he goes, just call Janet. And I said, what's the number? He goes, you know the number. It's 578-6300. But I was asking him, he says, well, what I'll do is I'll do this and I'll do that. But I'll just call Janet. So, folks, call Janet, 578-6300. Let Alan's Record Service get your vehicle where it needs to be safely. The VCS Company's Rocket Oilfield Services and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer in this region, are all part of the Hartman Communication Empire. They're right there on Kerr Boulevard, just inside Loop 463 off of Main Street. Beautiful property, beautiful buildings. Go in. There's no wait at the AT&T store. Folks, trust me, they wish there was a wait at that AT&T store. Go by there. Get all your accessories, get all the things you need, new iPhone 11, whatever you need, charging cords, all kinds of gear they have.
They have everything you need.
Absolutely. SCT Building Systems, Clayton and Casey Help will help you with your next project. He shed, she shed.
Metal building extraordinaire.
The he, she shed, whatever you need.
They're metal builders extraordinaire is what I was trying to say.
You identify as a woman, but you still want to do woodworking, they'll help you build that shop. They don't care. 564-8864. Reach out to Clayton and Casey. Great folks, great business. Like everybody we mentioned here, locally owned, wonderful family businesses. Chesney Furniture, same thing. 100 years in Victoria. Their families for generations have not only been in Victoria, they've been serving Victorians. You just do better at Chesney. Everybody knows that Chesney can love, make your house a home.
Stop by 116 West 1. Win
50% off all furniture during their 100-year anniversary celebration. 1920, folks, they started.
Larry Leahy says Kimberly Guilfoyle served no good purpose last night. She, of course, used to be married to Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, when he was the mayor of San Francisco. She's a lawyer. She appears on Fox a lot.
Either Lisa or Larry liked her speech. She just needed to tune it down and tone it down, turn it down.
Yeah, Lisa Poole says she liked the speech.
Kind of tone it down. Like our show. Sometimes we just need to.
Your Aunt Betty says Kimberly and Donald Trump Jr. were both overly inspired, she thought. I thought Donald Trump, though, had some pretty good foreign policy points that I give him credit for and I liked, but I kind of agree he was a little bit.
Yeah,
it was a little bit theaterish for a few of them, and that's, I guess, and it kind of was. They were on the stage. There was nobody there.
Do you look for him to ever run for office? Is he a natural? I don't think he's a natural.
No, I don't think so. I think I don't know that there's. I think if he does, he automatically jumps to Jeb Bush status.
Right.
I don't know that there's a Trump lineage to the White House or to other offices. I think Donald Trump Jr. jumps automatically to the Jeb Bushes of the political world.
Well, let me tell you another one, and I'm getting a little aside here. That George P. Bush, who I guess is Jeb's son,
yeah,
is the Office of Land Management. He's the guy. He is a dud. That guy may end up trying to run for governor, and folks, if you vote based on his name being George Bush, please do a little research. That guy's a dud. He actually thought when he moved over here that he ought to just be basically instilled as governor, and didn't realize that at the time Governor Abbott was very well revered. I think Abbott's going to face strong competition when he runs again this next time, and I do not think it should be George P. Bush.
I think Abbott's going to face a lot of stiff competition just from Republicans.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think he's going to see some challenges.
Good morning, Mr. Hartman. Somebody up there also said, so Trey Molina talked about a tragedy in Cal Allen. Did you see that? I don't remember. Was it a kid got stabbed?
A kid got stabbed in the middle of a Walmart. 18-year-old football player named Gabe Cooley.
Yeah,
was just standing there when he got stabbed, and the suspect's been identified as a 20-year-old. And he's now been charged with murder and is being held on a $1 million bond. I'm not going to say that the stabbing was called for, but there's more to this story.
Is there?
Well, that's my guess.
Okay.
I can't imagine a random 20-year-old would just go and stab an 18-year-old standing in the middle of Walmart for nothing.
You're thinking there could be a girl involved?
Something. But tragic at any rate. But I don't like to jump into these things until I know.
It's still a tragedy, though, that a kid, Cal Allen, we're not that far away. I mean,
no, just down the road.
I mean, hey, thank goodness you don't hear that happening here in Victoria where, somebody just walks up to a kid in a local Walmart and stabs him. We don't have much of that here. And let's keep it.
No, we just have 4 18-year-olds in a car drive by and shoot somebody.
Right. We're mobile. Yeah. We're mobile when we do that.
So
we don't put up with it. It's no good.
Jim Harbin checks in. Good morning to you. James Kerr says he's not looking for a Bush or Kennedy continuation.
No.
Callie Frommie says Trump women are more appealing as future candidates. I think Nikki Haley might have raised her status as a future candidate. I mean, I think she's South Carolina governor?
I don't know.
State rep?
It's just so weird. You can go on you can get invited, go on and make a national speech and raise your stock. It's crazy that this is the way our hierarchy of government runs.
Or completely blow your stock, like Bobby Jindal when he was asked to give the Republican response to, I think, the first Obama State of the Union.
Yeah. They gave that one Kennedy kid a couple of chances to rebut back early for the Democrats a couple of years ago, and he didn't really do much.
Lisa Boole says George P. Bush is dangerous. He's trying to refigure the Alamo and get rid of the cenotaph.
Yeah, he's an odd dude.
David Glass had just got out of the mental facility. He was with his mom. Now the mayor checking in. Dave Garza says Tim Scott, Nikki Haley ticket in 2024.
Yeah, I still think Jim Jordan's going to be a big, big factor in 24. The Ohio congressman, I think, is really, really sharp. And we're holding out for –
Who, Jim Jordan?
Yeah.
I think he's got to get past the fact that he took money from Google and other tech companies that –
at the time, I didn't know they were as bad as they are, but now I've joined the president and sanctioning them, and I hate TikTok. Next. I mean, that's how.
Are you going to give the money back?
Aunt Betty says Haley was a South Carolina governor and the UN ambassador.
Yeah. So
yeah, I thought she was good, too. Yeah. Why did she resigned her post as UN ambassador? Right? She said, I'm out of here. It's probably because Trump was probably causing her some issues back then.
No, I think she just had enough.
Yeah.
But, I thought it was interesting, though, that they really pointed out that I thought Donald Trump Jr. really emphasized the fact that Joe Biden, if elected, would be lockstep with the Chinese. I thought that was a strong move, and that was probably the most impressive point that Don Jr. made. But that was probably the point I think that was the most – I thought stuck out the most was they really, really tried to make an effort to point out the foreign affairs differences between Donald Trump and what Joe Biden's going to bring. And they made no bones about saying, hey, Joe Biden's the guy that was part of the administration that gave Iran a bunch of money to be used to kill our servicemen.
No doubt about it. And everything about Biden will be about leverage, whereas everything about Trump has been about benefiting the U.S., whether it be our economy, our manufacturing, our jobs. Biden's not worried about jobs. Biden is all about he'll be peddling influence. I think it's terrible. He would be tragic for the country.
Brad Miner says the 20-year-old was with his mom, was having mental problems and depressed because he'd been kicked out of his home, got a knife from the store and stabbed a random person.
Yeah.
And we can no longer lock these people up for the safety of society.
Yeah, you can't lock him up because he had mental issues. We have to medicate him and send him home.
A home that didn't want him.
Right. His mom says he was kicked out of the house and having a mental breakdown. I don't know. Maybe he was living with his dad. I don't know.
But was with his mom at Walmart? I don't know.
Apparently.
So it's sad. 18-year-old life ends too early.
Yeah.
and a 20-year-old who obviously needed help
Didn't get
didn't get it or didn't want it, which is interesting in and of itself. You have mental issues, but you're capable enough to determine you don't need the help.
And then stab somebody.
Brad Miner, Lisa Poole says, watch, stores will now remove knives from shelves.
Right. They'll be behind the counter if you need to buy them. So today's a great day to go to Veracruz, folks. Veracruz for lunch. Veracruz to pick up, 576-6015. Fantastic. Tomorrow's called a Wednesday, but today's a great day to sneak in, get chalupas, compuestas, get enchilada plate, have a Mexican plate with a taco. It's fantastic.
I stopped by yesterday, got my beef fajita taco salad, sans chips.
Was it great?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yep.
Really good.
It is good. That'd be a good call today. Maybe T-Lat and I will make a Veracruz run. Razor IT Solutions, reach out to JP Hull. Let his team study your analytics. Let them figure out how your Facebook interacts with your website. Help you collect money over the internet. Clean all that up, tie it back into your QuickBooks. Everybody's a winner. JP and the folks at Razor IT Solutions have been doing this for years. They'll tell you things about your program you didn't know, like who's trying to get in to your encrypted data. They'll help you encrypt your data,
where they're coming from,
what they're after.
Your data. They want your data.
That's it. It's like Dan Rather. What's the code? Nut job.
What's the frequency, Kenneth?
Right? Craziness. What is that? You think any of that really happened? You think that guy was just being a nut? Dan Rather's a nut.
Jenna West, good morning to you.
Liberal nut job. Adds an Auburn dealership since 1926. Now carrying.
You need lug nuts?
You need lug nuts? Get by there. Oh, goodness. Lug nuts, Ontario, just above Detroit, Michigan. Named after the product they used to ship down
That's
to
right.
Pontiac.
That's why it was Deer Nuts, Alberta, right?
Oh, Chevy, Cadillac, Mazda, Mitsubishi, all types of gently pre-owned, paint and body shop, all service, all makes and models, fleet sales, whatever you need. If
Trucks,
it's a vehicle, cars,
SUVs.
Tommy Taylor to find you a moped if that's what you needed. Reach out to Adzenhofer since 1926. 94 years, folks. You don't ride the ups and downs of the automotive business without being good at it for 94 years.
And you can buy it from the safety of your own home if you don't feel like you want to get out in this COVID-ridden world.
What I like about that, and no offense, because Adzenhofer has the friendliest folks on the planet for selling your car, but you might want to do a little shopping without being bothered by a car salesman. You can do that at Adzenhofer.com. Think about that. You can look inside, all around. You can see all the numbers on the vehicle. Highly recommend Adzenhofer.com. White Trash Services, don't need a website there. 550-1826. Just call up and talk to BJ or Scott. Talk to the family. You need a roll-off dumpster for a big job. You're in the 6-county region. You need weekly trash service. They're your home. Holiday Beach, Rockport. Reach out, 550-1826.
I talked to a Wade and Carter listener that said they were giving white trash a call today.
I talked to BJ Nelson, who said she was going to provide your next service, and she didn't really care what the price was. Just want to make sure you knew that.
She will.
She said, we're going to do Ash's trash pickup at his new place.
Yes, she is.
There you go. What is the frequency? Kenneth is an REM song. But was it an REM song before it happened? Is that what somebody said to Dan Rather? Or did Dan Rather say that like, that I got mugged? I mean, I think he was like that Jesse Smoot guy. That's exactly what I think Dan Rather
Smollett?
did. Yeah, whatever, that guy. His fame is over.
Johnny Houghton checking in says Nikki Haley has integrity. She was hired by Boeing and resigned over the board requesting $60 million in private and public funds during the COVID crisis. Did not know that. I did not know that. Weird and wild stuff.
Okay, so REM just used that as a straight line. Steve Kidder knows because he just knows.
Yeah. Your thoughts, anybody on the RNC, 575-9509. Give us a call.
Yeah, you can if you got any updates.
So what did the Astros do last night?
The Astros won 11-4. They got right. They beat the Los Angeles Angels by a touchdown. Now, somebody said that they played at home. Were they at home last night? Because they just played at San Diego. Why would they come all the way back here to play the Angels?
Maybe they did. I don't know.
I'm going to bet they were at home. Yeah, they were, because the Angels score was listed
first.
You might
be right.
4-11.
Yeah, so, okay.
But, after I saw the World Series, there's no such thing as home field advantage since every game was won on the road. The Astros are just better than the Angels. Ash and I have both talked about how long can Mike Trout really enjoy being an Angel.
I was just gonna go there. Is Mike Trout being wasted?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I know he's in a major market. East Coast never sees him because he's always, on the late games. But is he being wasted, or is his career being wasted? Because when he broke into the league, the Angels were a good team and a contender.
Right.
Could have been a contender.
Right.
Now, not so much. They lost out on the Garrett Cole sweepstakes. Everybody thought for sure he was going to go home.
And it would not have helped. And we agree that's why Garrett didn't go. There was no chance to win there.
They would have won. I mean, so they're, 9-20? They would be 13-20 if Garrett Cole was in their lineup right now.
The first one that jumps to mind is this is like when Cesar Cedeno played for the Astros in the early 70s. But even worse than that, the analogy would be the equivalent of having Mickey Mantle playing for the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's the essential of what it is. Like, why? Why is Mike Trout? Yes, he's with a no-ballot Hall of Famer who just keeps racking up numbers in the form of Albert Pujols, who has more home runs against the Astros than anybody in history.
But Pujols isn't the Pujols that destroyed the Astros back when he was with the Cardinals.
No, but by the way, some trivia for you because, the Cardinals have 11 championships. They are the most decorated team in the National League and the team with the second most World Series. So the Yankees are so far ahead. 29, 27.
Steve Kinner asked if Cody Sugar just checked in because we're talking baseball.
Probably here.
Yeah. And that's why Pujols has hit more home runs against the Astros than anybody else because he played against them in the National League in the prime of his career, and now playing against them.
And he hit more home runs against the Astros than any other team. Yeah. I mean, he owned the Astros.
Do I feel bad for Mike Trout? I kind of do in a way. But I feel bad more for Major League Baseball because I think Mike Trout could be the next guy that could save baseball, if you will.
Right. He's apparently a good guy. He's very low key.
Clayton Meyer says all those home runs were off Brad Lidge.
Yeah, no kidding. Patrick Strauss points out Pujols is a liability now, and they're stuck with this big contract. He's hit a little over 200.
Yeah.
But you're right. He's not really an everyday first baseman.
Oh, Sugar says, I don't know what a Pujols is, but it sounds dirty.
Right. Right. It's Spanish. You have to say it right, Pujols.
Yeah. But I'll say this.
Or you do the Mexican meme of the day. My wife said to clean it, so I got to get my Pujols out.
I think
clean the pool.
I think Mike Trout could be the guy that could resurrect baseball. If the Angels can put a team around him, he doesn't have to leave. They've tried. I don't think it's going to work.
Isn't baseball fine? Am I missing something?
I don't know that it's translated well to nobody in the stands.
I agree. Well, it is funny when a guy
people aren't watching.
And the guy hits a home run, and he's almost a second when the crowd goes.
Somebody's asleep on a sound effects machine.
Push the button.
Saw a foul ball hit a teddy bear in the crowd the other day. That was pretty funny, actually.
Miranda Tunches checks in right on top of Stephen Kidder.
So, NHL, Dallas Stars up 2-0.
Is that good? When you're proud of the Stars because that makes you
No,
feel
they
better
beat the
about
Flames. So yeah, it does. It does. At
Right.
least I'm,
So like if they had gone on and gotten swept, then you'd feel like, man, we're really bad.
Yeah.
We got beat by a team that got swept.
Yeah. Then you're like, oh, geez, we could have at least won one.
The reality is the Flames are so bad that the Stars healed up and rested. And now that's why they're playing good in their next series.
Stars scored 4 in the second. They win at 5-2 over the Colorado Avalanche. Avalanche lost their starting goalie. They're using their back. He's just not there.
Steve Kidder appreciated Pujols.
Yeah.
I got to get my Pujols. I got to clean it. That's nice.
And the other game, the Islanders blanked the Flyers 4-0. They lead that 1-0 tonight. Bruins Lightning. Bruins up 1-0. Canucks Golden Knights. Vegas leads that series 1-0.
Now, Dwayne Payton says, I think it died when they support terrorists still. I thought that was the NBA. That's where I'm at with the NBAs. I think they're basically.
Clayton Meyer says he thinks mannequins will look way cooler than the cutouts. I think the cutouts were funny the first weekend.
Yeah.
But now it's done. But
it's shameless too. Send us $100 and a picture. We'll put you in the outfield.
I still contend this would be a great opportunity for Major League, but they won't do this for first responders. But they could do it. They could have done a teddy bear drive, filled the stands with teddy bears, and give them to first responders to help support kids in time of need. Yep.
Put 5,000 orbits out in the Crawford box,
James Kerr says Clayton Meyer blow-up dolls. They did that in the Korean League. Do you remember that? They ordered a bunch of what were supposed to be mannequins, and they shipped them a bunch of blow-up dolls, and they stuck them in there anyway.
It'd be great if you filled them full of helium, and somebody hits a home run, and you just
let it go,
drift up to the stands. That'd be awesome. Blow-up dolls would be cool. I have to admit that would be funny.
That would be funny. So, what do you make of the latest news out of North Korea? Kim Jong-un apparently in a coma again, because wasn't it just like a couple of months ago, maybe a little longer than that, but sometime during this COVID crisis, we were told that he was in a coma following a heart procedure, weren't we?
Yeah.
At least that's my recollection. Am I wrong?
I think we've narrowed it down to that there's enough truth that Kim Jong-un did have a heart procedure. We do believe that to be true. And he did have some complications afterwards. Now, whether or not he's actually in a coma, we don't know. It does appear his sister's name is like Kim Jo-un, something like that. She is, or Kim Un-jo. I think that's what her name is. Yeah. She is allegedly taking over some of his nice, Bobcat Wiley says, a coma-induced diet. Yeah, because he's built like a little fire plug. But then apparently she's taking
it's not what we call them back home, but
Martine Pitts, good morning. I
owe you some information, Martine. It's coming. I'll get it to you today. Go on.
Well, I'm
trying to find her name.
I just keep wondering that if he dies.
Kim Yo-jong.
There you go. Does it make sense? Not that we would ever be, aggressive. Does it just make sense for the U.S. to just go over there and take over North Korea? Just give it to the South Koreans and say, China, eat that.
Well, what's interesting is South Korea's leader is a little bit of a North Korea sympathizer. I mean, there's some issues with South Korea and Japan. South Korea and the U.S.'s relations aren't what they were. This guy wants a unified Korea, as do many Koreans, but I think he would rather unify it on North Korea's terms than terms that are favorable to South Korea.
Jeff Fonseca says he'll come out of a coma and shoot 54 at the local muni. Now, you got to be on top of the news to find that funny, but Kim Jong-un once, the big joke was that he played golf and he birdied every hole.
No, he hole-in-one every hole. He shot an 18.
Shot an 18. Yeah.
So 54.
Good point. James Kerr says maybe he's addicted to a narcotic. Maybe Dennis Rodman got him on that crack pipe when he was over there. Maybe that was a government
That was
strategy.
The infiltration?
Sup, Kim? Take a hit of this. Never can tell.
Remember when we were afraid of North Korea? We had that movie coming out that was, what was it called? The Interrogation or something like that, where
yeah.
I can't remember the actor now. I can see him, but I
It's
can't
kind
remember.
of a boring movie, but I enjoyed it.
They were posing as
kill him.
interviewers, and they were going to assassinate Kim Jong Un.
Interview.
The interview. That's
called,
what.
The
Thank you.
Interview.
Yeah, and Sony Pictures got so scared that Kim Jong Un was going to retaliate that they pulled it. Remember?
Yeah, it was a great movie, actually. They were going to kill him. That was the whole point of the movie.
Yeah. And now we have a leader that's not. That shows you the difference. The movie wouldn't be made now because Hollywood's afraid.
Oh, yeah.
But they wouldn't have kowtowed because our president, Donald Trump, would have made Sony Pictures feel like an idiot for pulling a movie because they were afraid of Kim Jong-un.
Right. What was the...
Seth Rogen. Thank you, Steve Kidder. That's the guy.
Who is the guy, Steve Kidder, Lisa Poole, who is the guy that is...
it was supposed to be a comedy.
He's a little person. He's actually a handsome guy. If you just didn't know, I mean, even though he is 3'5", but if you didn't know it, you wouldn't think that he was 3'5". Dark-headed guy, David somebody, I think, Longland. Anyway, this guy and the guy who played the videographer in The Man in the High Castle, and Richard Gere are all in a movie called Three Christs. And it's talking about, based loosely on a real story that was in a documentary, I think. It's a true story from a
based on a movie.
The movie is real. But Richard Gere plays a psychiatrist or a full-blown shrink. I don't know, psychiatrist. And he does studies. He's got 3 individuals somewhere in Michigan that this is like in the late 50s, early 60s, who all identify for different reasons, things that happen in their lives. They all identify as Jesus Christ. And he talks to him, says, Mr. Wildchild.
Steve Kidder says you were describing Danny.
Right. So it's like, it's not a comedy, but they say, it says,
he said good looking.
It says, hey, Ash, and he says, no, please address me by my real name. I'm Jesus Christ. So what he does is he puts all 3 of these guys in a room and lets them interact to see if their Christ-like empathy comes out, to see. And I looked up, and the movie was actually was released in 2020. So it was a movie that somebody made the decision right away. Really, Steve?
I didn't play it.
Uncle Mutt's Barbecue, folks. Today's a great day to get Uncle Mutt's. You get brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken, turkey, all the side dishes. Uncle Mutt's, great catering opportunities. They're there for you. They can do huge groups. They've done Warriors Weekend for years. Katina and Jonathan Arterberry do fantastic work. They're always giving back to the community. Now give back to them and get by Uncle Mutt's this week. Gray Barn Design, 920-6803. Reach out to Cheryl. Make your next party a real party. Enjoy. Attend your party. Don't just plan and fight over and fawn over. Let Cheryl do that.
Don't work your party.
920-6803. Went Services. Generators, solar panels, electrical work, upgrades. You need power like you're going to park an RV and you need more amperage.
They can do that.
Reach out to them. Went Services, Went Generators, Went Electrical. They do great work, and they're local and they're timely. USA Concrete Coatings, Charlie Garcia and his team will come out usually in one day, completely strip, clean, and put down a hard antimicrobial permanent
antibacterial
finish you can eat off your garage floor or your porch or your back patio or any room you want done. They can do it.
At least before you go and park that 72 Blazer that leaks oil on it.
Right, 70. And don't forget Compadres Design, Inc., the folks that do all the banners and all the swag. I'm going to check today and see where our T-shirts are. We've got some stuff coming, folks.
Brother Troy checks in.
Yeah.
He's an Islanders fan. They're playing pretty
Michael John says, I'm just wanting to drink a beer with Steve Kidder. Well, he's going to have one. You might as well be there. He ain't scared.
Saddest day in Steve Kidder's life was, I think, when the Golden Gecko closed.
Right. Yes. He was a regular upstairs in the
It was right across from his office, I think.
in the limbo room.
So you said 3 Christs. It got me thinking.
Careful. large Catholic listenership.
Did you see the story that came out of Lynchburg, Virginia yesterday?
No.
With Jerry Falwell Jr. and his wife and some young dude who apparently
thinks he's Jesus?
No, but apparently the three of them had
something going on?
Oh, yeah.
Like a little something?
Yeah.
That's
he and Jerry's wife, and Jerry would sit in the corner.
But not Jerry the old man.
No, he's dead.
Oh. Really?
That would make it really weird.
You know,
because it's not weird enough.
When the husband sits in the corner and the young dude is with the wife, we call that that move is the Jimmy Swaggart. That's the Jimmy Swaggart. That's what Jimmy was known for.
Jeff Fonseca is the Wade and Carter Peanut Gallery is full of funny people. It's awesome.
They think they are.
No, they are.
What's sad is I don't
think I've ever seen you. I don't either, but I don't know that I've ever seen you get shut down that fast.
Well, it was just I respect Steve Kidder, and clearly it's not mutual. And I thought, I'll just tell him about this movie. What was interesting to me was that the movie came out in 2020, and apparently a movie with Richard Gere was set to just go straight to syndication. That's the point. Went straight to Showtime. There are no theaters. So what do you make for a movie that goes straight to Showtime? Instead of, make $20 million, you can bet on that.
I bet you recoup your costs. Or is it a share of the $695 everybody pays for it? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I just don't know. They had an entanglement, the Iceman says.
Yeah, they had an entanglement. Yeah, that was weird.
Steve Kidder wants to know, Steve Kidder won't let this go. Are y'all picking the venue for Miranda's dream date? That's her dream date with Steve Kidder, where Wade and Carter promised to pay for the first round of drinks.
Or can we choose?
Now, what's interesting is Steve Kidder says first round, I'll have 6 ultras. That's his first round.
James Kurth wants to know if we can watch this on Zoom.
Isn't it kind of creepy if we watch? Should we get a hold of the Reverend Falwell Jr. to ask him about it?
Maybe.
I mean, can we watch? I don't know.
I was reading a little bit on that last night. The only reason that Junior came out with the story is he's saying this guy was trying to blackmail him because they had some business deals. I'm thinking that's how he paid for this guy.
Right,
to be with his wife. $5. That's all that little blue pill would have cost you, Jerry. Then you wouldn't have to sit in the corner. But it got weird. The guy was 20 when this started.
How old is Falwell?
50, 58. Your age.
You think I'm done? You think I'm done in the next 12 months? Wow.
No, I didn't say that.
This segment brought to you by Cialis for daily use. Wow.
So Jerry was sitting in this tub. Well, his wife and this other guy were in this tub. That's how the Cialis commercial works.
That would be funny. That would be you've seen that silhouette, folks, and it's dumb. It's dumb if you think about it. They're each sitting in a bathtub and they're holding hands in the middle. But wouldn't it be great if there were another set of hands like on the tub? That'd be great. This makes the show worthwhile. When he makes me laugh, that's good stuff. There's 2 people in this tub, and you see water splashing out of it. The other guy's just got his head down. Oh, that's crazy. So,
meanwhile, Jerry's in the other tub giving himself the Bush's Beans hot tub experience. The Bush's Beans jacuzzi.
Ripping it. I don't know what we've gotten into. I want to know. I don't know any of the stati of any. I know Steve Kidder's single. I don't know about Miranda Tunches.
I would think so.
I don't know. What we're just talking about, Jimmy Swaggart and
Jerry Falwell
Jr.
But apparently this thing got weird. It was almost Inquirer type when I started reading this. World Daily News or whatever that the papers was referred to in So I Married an Axe Murderer.
James Curse's daily use? Wow. Yes, apparently it helps you pee, James. I don't know. What else would you do with it every day? I mean,
you only have to take it once in the morning.
You trying to get back to the set? What are you making movies?
Don't take it before bed.
Yeah. We're filming tomorrow at 11.
But this thing got weird. Like, Falwell Jr. accused the guy of trying to extort him. So that's why he said, because he had denied it all at first, right? When rumors had come around that this was happening, completely denied it.
Straight out of the book. Denied.
Then came out and said, yep, it's true, because the guy was going to run with it anyway. And they had apparently some phone calls and text messages, videos. Almost that. But it just got. And then at some point, Jerry Falwell's wife got jealous of this dude when he started dating women.
Yeah, because women always fall in love. I mean, it's, sadly, I think it's a weakness of men.
And he even admitted, he said there was more, it was more than just sex for the two of us at one point.
Well, but it's a weakness of men is if at least in my generation, I don't know, I've heard stories about women now, but in my generation, it was the man who could take it or leave it. Women always got attached. Now,
yeah, that's the man. Well, remember about 3 weeks ago, Jerry Falwell Jr. had to step down as.
Was he at Liberty University?
At Liberty? Or went on a hiatus or whatever, because pictures of him surfaced on a boat with a young girl that wasn't his wife. I'm thinking
he's just trying to get even.
I'm thinking these two had a pretty open relationship.
Wow. If that's today's reminder, folks. Don't let some guy be your god. I mean, don't look at him as some spokesman for God.
Apparently, he resigned yesterday from Liberty and then rescinded his resignation.
Yeah, he decided, whoa, what am I going to do for money?
Exactly.
I'm going to stay here.
Don Nicole asked if you're attached.
I'm fairly attached, T-Lat.
Ditto.
No doubt. Yeah. Ash and I both like you, but when do I get to get out of the bathtub? Ash is like, Brent, I sure love Don. Go back to the corner. The Wade and Carter show. It's unbelievable. Yeah, T-Lat, you're the only one for me.
Just in the nick of time.
The great one walks in with the Hall of Famer. Gary, there's a.
Which one's the Hall of Famer? Which one's the great one?
And on the calendar it's beige. What'd you do with it?
It's there. I didn't touch it.
And there's an envelope in the area. I'm going to get Gary to open it because it says at the top, VPD, VCSO, Federal Marshals, and it says Brother Gary Moses, like care of. So I guess they were saying to the cops, don't take this. It's for Gary. I don't know.
I'm thinking somebody decided to turn in all their fake IDs.
It's too small to be a mail bomb, so I feel good about it. It's somebody it's a thank you note telling Gary how great he is. He gets sacks of those daily.
Santa gets bags of mail from like September to December. Yeah, Brother Gary gets them every day, all day.
So
what do you make of this Yale professor? Dr. Risch, I think he's an epidemiologist. He's also a medical doctor, so he's PhD and medical doctor.
So we're thinking he's a smart guy, and
he's a smart guy. He's at Yale.
Okay.
And he point blank came out yesterday and said that this country's death toll would have been tens of thousands fewer if hydroxychloroquine would have been used and would be used.
I have no doubt. They're talking about a plasma study now, Ash, and when I listened to them...
No, it's not a study. The president full-blown went and said that this plasma can be used now to be injected in or
but here's what they said.
If part of blood transfusions into people who are battling
COVID. Under 80 and not on a ventilator and your antibodies are at a certain level, then plasma can work for you. But the only way that they know all this about under 80 and that you don't need a generator, a ventilator and all that, the only way they know all that is from experience from studying this virus.
Yeah, well, and that's the interesting part, right? I mean, we're learning more about this virus.
Clayton, hell, look at that. They got a concrete pump. It's going up and over, folks. They're out there pouring concrete.
Dawn hasn't even broken yet.
Yes.
But... yeah, I caught the headline this morning, so I don't have a lot on it, but I know that there's Dr. Risch.
You should have said Dr. Risch?
Could be. Very, very, I mean, he knows his stuff.
I saw nothing.
They don't just hire ex-bartenders at Yale.
Right, exactly. Well, my deal
We have
is
PhDs in life.
I'm going to tell you, if I came down, if I knew that I had the virus and somebody said, hey, look, man, just stay home, quarantine and all that, I'm going to call John McNeil and say, can you get me a script for some hydroxychloroquine?
Hydroxychloroquine.
Why not?
Azithromycin.
Why not?
And zinc.
And a banana. Why not? I'm on the broad diet with hydroxychloroquine.
Jeff Fonseca's ventilator powered by wind generator.
Yes.
It's a wind generator.
If you're choking to death on COVID, fire up your wind generator. Breathe the exhaust. Yeah.
How about that? 50 idiots in North Texas drank bleach thinking it was going to cure them of the COVID.
Do you know how bad? Do you drink that as a shot? Do you think you mix it with something? I don't know.
Pour it on your Wheaties.
Can you imagine how bad that would burn if you drank it? Like immediately, you go, bad idea, bad idea.
Did they die from it? Do you know?
I don't know.
I would hope
Did
so.
you induce vomiting?
I don't know. I mean,
some
activated charcoal.
Some of these diseases, folks, are just Darwinism. I don't believe in evolution, but I believe that only the strong survive. I mean, if you're that dumb,
if 50 of you are that dumb
you might
to drink bleach,
you might need to go. It might be time for us to go. It's after the top of the hour.
We're not drinking bleach, but we got to get out of here.
No, but we're going to meet Steve Kidder somewhere and figure out how to do his dream date with Miranda Chinch. By the way, Miranda, if you'll notice, has backed off pursuing that
She
date.
barely chimed in
It
today.
seems to all be fueled by Steve, Mr. Desperado Kidder. Seems to be driving that